Let's have a look at Anzac Day and some of the issues we're going to look at tomorrow as we try and commemorate Anzac Day in a way we haven't done for a long while. Scott Morrison mentioned today 100 years ago, at the end of the First World War, during the Spanish flu, they went through similar measures at Anzac Day. Of course, they didn't have Skype and Zoom back then. Let's catch up with Ivan Slavich, who's the CEO of Soldier On. Thanks for joining us, Ivan. Such a special day for anybody who's got anything to do with our armed services and veterans like yourself. How apprehensive are you about going through a day like this that's all about mateship and solidarity and not really being able to stand there shoulder to shoulder with your mates?
Well, good afternoon, Chris, to you and your viewers. Look, absolutely, it's a big impact not actually being able to be together physically, a major impact. But I think in this virtual world, the Australians have risen to the challenge, and we've come up with some virtual ways of, we're not going to be stopped. We are going to commemorate Anzac Day. And Soldier On has gotten behind Driveway at Dawn. This is a movement that came from Justin Wilbur from Ballarat. And it's gone ballistic right across the country with 250,000 followers on Facebook and about 5 million people reached in 100 countries. So we are going to commemorate Anzac Day no matter what.
Yeah, now it's really important that people understand this so we can all get involved. We can get up at 5, switch on Sky News. Tim Gilbert will be hosting our broadcast and we'll be telecasting a dawn service from Canberra. There will be a very small gathering of people there, Prime Minister, Opposition Leader and a handful of others. And at what stage are we suggesting that people should go out onto the front of their houses with a candle or the like in this unifying gesture around the country?
Well, of course, it depends how cold the climate is where you are. So, look, the service, from about 5:30, but the key time is 5 to 6.
5 to 6.
Yeah, that's right. So be out there in your driveway, have a candle, commemorate. See your vision there is with Justin Wilbur from Driveway at Dawn. He's done a magnificent job in bringing this to the attention of all Australians. Just absolutely remarkable. They've got a Facebook site, Aussies and Kiwis for Anzacs. It's been phenomenal. We're also got a commemorative service that Soldier On has put together, which will stream from 6:30 a.m. From the Soldier On website, from our Facebook, YouTube and LinkedIn, and there'll be an ability to interact. So we've got the Governor-General, the former Chief of Army, Peter Lay, who was our chairman. We've also got a number of Soldier On ambassadors. And we've got Shannon Knoll, who's done a cover version of I Was Only 19, that iconic song.
The great John Schumann song. That's fantastic. I'm really pleased about what we're going to be doing in our driveways at 5 to 6 tomorrow morning. Just briefly, before I let you go, Ivan, give us, in a nutshell, what Soldier On does and what you do to help our veterans.
Well, essentially, we enable veterans and their families to thrive, and we use the HELP acronym. H is for health and well-being, E is for employment opportunities, L is for learning, and P is for participation. So it's those preventative measures and having a job, getting an education, recognising prior learning, social connection, which is very difficult at this time, and we're doing a lot virtually through our Connect Hub. And ultimately, from a health and well-being perspective, we provide psychological services for those traumatised and scarred by their service.
Great stuff, Ivan. Thanks very much for joining us, and I hope you have a very productive day tomorrow, a very thoughtful day tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and lest we forget.
Indeed. Ivan Slavich there, the CEO of Soldier On. Let's catch up now with David Savage, also via Skype from Canberra. David is a veteran of the Afghanistan war. Thanks for joining us, David. I thought it'd be really good to get your perspective on Anzac Day because we hear a lot about the First World War, the Second World War and other conflicts. You represent that ongoing conflict in Afghanistan where more than 40 Australians have been killed and hundreds wounded. You were wounded there. But, of course, your work there was really supporting the community, peacekeeping and nation building. a bit different from frontline fighting, yet just as dangerous.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. Yeah, I was embedded with the Australian troops there. I was working as a stabilisation advisor. So my role, as you say, was not as in combat, but I was working, advising and assisting the Afghan government and communities to try and recover after so many years of war, and put in projects there to assist them. It's apart from the fact that I was embedded with the soldiers after I was wounded there, the support that I got from the soldiers that I was with, the Australian soldiers who have supported me along with Soldier On over the last 8 years, has just been incredible and helped me and my family to recover.
How important is that camaraderie to you, and how much will you miss seeing people all together tomorrow?
Look, for as long as I can remember, I've been fortunate enough to observe Anzac Day either on deployment in Bougainville, East Timor, also in Sri Lanka and in Myanmar, Burma, where Commonwealth war graves have been, or back in Canberra at the War Memorial. And by the time you're with your friends and your mates, and it's a very important time, and it's often not what's said between you, but it's what's you don't need to say, being with them. So not having that tomorrow, we'll make sure that we're in contact via all the different phone and Skype, etc., to make sure that no one feels that they're isolated, even though they might be physically isolated, but to ensure that everyone's around them, because isolation, especially if you've got PTSD or other things, can be the worst thing for you.
Look, it's a very powerful and important point you make there about it not being what you say. In fact, it's the fact that you understand each other and the situation and you don't need to say it. So I suppose that's hard to recreate over social media.
Yeah, it is. But I think there's been this incredible project to have everyone to observe Anzac Day from their homes, and I think that's been such a unifying idea and coming to fruition. It's really gained incredible momentum. So I think that will be something that will help to mitigate the issues for people, knowing that their neighbours will be out the front, a couple of 10 metres away or whatever, and or across the road, and I'll be up there just tomorrow morning with my wife and Candle, and with our streaming the service. So knowing that there's other people around you, is a really positive thing to help alleviate any concerns or feelings of isolation.
Well, great stuff, David, and I hope you have a really fruitful day.
Thanks very much for your time.